Elkins presents the Elkins Accounting Hour with your host, Chad Elkins.
All right, Mr. Clary, I saw you were running hot. You were streaming a video literally like 3 minutes ago or 2 minutes ago.
It's and under duress. Did I ever tell you about my bad luck of health in Las Vegas?
No.
Well, it ends up not being bad health, but I have all these scares. Like about 2 years ago, I had a kidney stone, and thanks to your candidate, she's like, "Well, it could be her." She thinks everything is herpes, by the way. She's like, "Oh God, it's herpes. It's AIDS. You're gonna die. Your dick is gonna fall off." No, and ended up just being like a small kidney stone. And then I got some jock itch in the jock itch area. Of course, your GF thinks like, oh, it's the herp, it's the disease, it's gonna fall off. No, just jock itch. It was fine. But you don't know until you're getting tested, right? And then I took the shingles vaccine.
Really? She said something about that.
Yeah, it kicked the fucking shit out of me.
Why'd you do that?
Because I don't want to get shingles.
Okay.
Look, I'm not going the other. Look. You come to me and you say, we got a vaccine. We just came up in 3 months to handle this disease. It just popped up 4 months ago. I'm very sus. It's like, wait, AIDS has been around for 35 years. You haven't solved that, but you magically found a cure. So I'm very suspicious of that. But like your tetanus shot or shingles, I'm more inclined to believe things that have been around and tested on humans now for decades before I got here. I can do it. And they said, well, this might knock you on your ass a little bit and all that. Oh, just got obliterated. It had horrible nightmares, just horrible sweating. And then just now, like yesterday, I had like something in my ear, like earwax. And I tried to go in there to get it. And I think all I did was push it up against my eardrum. So I can't hear out of my ear. I'm like, oh God, did I fuck up my hearing? And so I go and I get the drops over at Walgreens and I put the drops in and it starts foaming up. Now I can't hear a damn thing out of my left ear. And I'm like, well, did I screw this up? And I got to wait. Like, how do I rinse it off? So I'm taking this squeegee, trying to suck the melted earwax out of this is all what you get to look forward to when you're older, by the way.
Speaking of older, well, go ahead.
Well, anyway, turns out, oh no, you're supposed to take that squeegee, put water in it to drain it out. And now the pain went away. I can hear, but I got swimmer's ear. It's like, there's no fucking luck here in Vegas with like, oh my God, am I deaf? Oh my God, do I got the herb? No, it's just old man shit happening. So I got my hearing back. I'm fine, but it wears on you after a while.
Clary, there's somebody in the chat who's very sympathetic to your problems.
Probably Trey. What Hanyak? Oh, this guy. This guy, did that work? I'm not up on this shit and such. Yeah, it worked. If he's talking about the ear stuff, you get like these eardrops. Yeah. Of course you got old man shit. You put it in there, but the trick is then you take the spray, you got to spray water into it to drain it out. And then all the pain in there. So I must have had a big old hard clump of earwax in there that is now gone.
Well, I did want to cheer. This is the winter ale I had last week, by the way, from 903. I wanted to cheers to you being half a century year old.
I am a half a century old now. Yes, and I am.
Did you have a good celebration? It looked like it. You sent us some pictures.
Well, I think we went to dinner and that was it. Like my 50th was nowhere near as big as my 40th. The 50th, it was just lie around and do nothing. And then
I saw whiskey cupcakes.
Oh yeah, the GF made whiskey cupcakes. Yeah, I mean I got that. Yeah, but that was we didn't go to like the club or the strip or anything. We went to a nice dinner, relaxed. Some friends came by and we went hiking a couple days after. So that was fun. But yeah, on my actual birthday, it was just and not like I wanted to. It wasn't like, oh, my friends aren't here. I was like, nah, man, I want to do dinner, go home and go to bed. You know, just play some video games and that's about it.
Well, good, man. I don't think you look 50, but we'll see what the chat thinks.
I do not look 50. And look, let me tell you about this chat, right? We kind of share some of the same audience. Man. You think Dre and Great One and Naughty DJ, you think any of these Heinyackers are gonna say, yeah, Cappy looks really good for his, they're gonna say, for a gay man, he looks 73. You know what's gonna, I know I look great for 50. I don't care what the comment section says. I know you guys. So you could go ahead, read through. Yeah, here, I hear Cappy like to put it in there, something in his mouth. Right. Say, this is what I expect. This is what I expect from the audience.
Well, great one doesn't look his age either. So
No, he doesn't.
care
He
about
looks
that.
exceptionally good looking for 83 and a gay man. Yes. The best looking 83-year-old gay man you ever saw.
Well, we did something else this week, which I think Clary was relieved to get done. We did finally get around to finishing up his taxes. And, normally Clary's one of the first to get this done. I do understand why he took his time this year releasing that book and, turning half a century and all that stuff. But, yeah, so we're going to, you're going to like the topic tonight because we get to read an article from the Washington Post. And there's a little twist at the end that I think you and probably the great one are going to get a real kick out of.
Is this the Jeff Bezos owned Washington Post?
Yes.
Okay. So, but they recently, they didn't go conservative, but Jeff says, I'm sick and tired of all the leftist bias. You're going to go straight down the plate.
Oh, they may have said that, but there's still some remnants.
Oh, is there still some remnant boomer? Okay. All right.
Still some remnant boomers.
Oh, I have a question, Mr. Elkins. Mr. Elkins, I have a question. Pick me.
Yes.
Is the solution going to be more of other people's money at the end of the article?
It doesn't quite go into that, but it's just they go over the same old talking points, and one of them is going to sound very familiar to you, and you're just going to be like, "What?" Because we've spoken about that before. So,
how much white men suck?
Indirectly, yeah.
Okay,
exactly.
yeah, all right. So,
yeah.
Well, I'm very curious about the article then.
Okay, well, since I do need to make this quickly because I got a lot of work I still got to do, why don't we just get right to it? So,
let's do it.
Present.
By the way, if Red Hawks were listening, he better be working, man. He better be making me my money. All you people working at H&R Block, you better be making me my money.
So, okay, as you can see on the title of this stream, I've been getting a lot of people, Clary, for the last week and a half, it's just been my clients and even other people going, is my refund going to be delayed? Is my refund going to be delayed? Oh my God, I heard about Doge. So evil. I hate Elon Musk. Oh my, I just want my refund. I want to get my big refund. Clary, first of all, before we get into this, is it good to get a big refund?
It is not good to get a big refund.
Good.
No.
Would you care to explain to people who may not know why?
Because that meant the government got to use your money for free, and you could have been investing it in the stock market or some other, paying down debts and saving some interest. So that is your money the government is giving back to you.
There had to have been 10,000 better uses of that cash than letting the IRS or whatever state agency just sit on it.
Hewers. You could have gotten some hewers.
Well, because I got so many annoying emails like that for the last week or so, I found an article that I thought would discuss it. And yes, as you can see, it's from the Washington Post. It's called How Trump's IRS Layoffs Could Affect Taxpayers and Refunds This Season.
Who is the journalist, or not journalist, who is the hack that wrote this?
Perfect question, because their name, you can't quite see it maybe, it's called Toby Raji. I would like
How do you spell Raji? R-O-G-I-E?
R-A-J-I. So I put it up on the screen for you. By the way, I checked her Twitter. Even I have more followers than she does. What's that?
It's a girl. I thought it was a guy.
Yeah. And you see our gal right here, right? Toby.
Hang on. I got to pull up a different. Yeah, there she is. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So a surprise, a 20-something female who wants more of my money.
I want you to keep her in mind as we read this, okay? So let's get started. Oh, let me pull up my notes because I have some opinions about this, believe it or not. The Internal Revenue Service has begun firing thousands of employees as part of another round of layoffs targeting federal workers, the Washington Post reported earlier this week. The mass firings come during a busy tax filing seasons, with taxpayers expected to file more than 140 million tax returns by the April 15th deadline. Of the 7,000 IRS employees expected to be laid off, 5,000 come from the agency's enforcement and collections section, which in recent years has worked to increase audits of the country's wealthiest taxpayers
Those evil rich people. Oh, I hate them so much.
and more strictly enforce rules governing certain businesses. Clary, I'm going to call bullshit right now with that sentence about how they were targeting, wealthier taxpayers. And why do you suppose I'm saying that?
Because I don't think Elon or Trump or whoever did the analysis said we're going to go after those who are just focusing on the wealthiest taxpayers. I'd imagine IRS agents or enforcement agents are there. I guess there's a more of a protocol or a procedure where they are randomly assigned to enforcement cases.
Well, hey, let me clarify a little bit. So this is all because of that Inflation Reduction Act, and the article will get to this in a second. Like they meant to provide more enforcement, and they claimed that they were just going to go after the wealthy people, right?
Okay, so is this just Trump rescinding that?
Yeah, this is Trump rescinding that, and the reason why this is such a BS statement about going after the wealthiest taxpayers. Every piece of feedback I've received over the last year and a half since they hired all of these staff, really 2 years, it's been the middle class and lower that have gotten targeted more with this, not the wealthy. Now, why the hell do you think it turned out
Because
that
I
way?
see the point you're going now, because as you have said many times before, the wealthy people, those evil rich people, have accountants, they have their shit together, and they will take advantage of all the different tax code and rules and laws to maximize their tax deductions. So there's probably very little left for you to go after, as opposed to say, I don't know, some dude bro who had a good sales year but didn't make his estimated tax payments and has 400,000 in income. So like
It's
if you're Bill Gates, you got your tax shit together. If
yes.
you're Dude Bro Johnson, who got a good, you were a realtor and you had a good year, and like so a lot of your clients, like, oh my God, I don't want to have to pay taxes. Oh my God, can I write off my dog? Can I write off my toe fungus? What can I do? It's going to be those who are more middle class that are going to pay for it.
You're right, and a big part of it is because people like me and any other professional worth their salt, whether it's a tax attorney, CPA, even the EAs, the rich people hire us, and we know how to outwit the IRS most of the time. Plus, their stuff's really together anyway. It's not like they're actually cheating. So,
are you really outwitting the IRS? Or are you just using the code and following
we're
it?
using the code properly.
Yeah,
I shouldn't
because
say outwit.
when you say you outwit, that almost like you're cheating. No,
we're not cheating. We're not.
Congress came up with the tax code. The IRS enforces it. These are the rules. And if you got yourself a good accountant, says, here are the rules to legally follow them.
Yes.
So there's going to be not that many violations which you could get these evil rich people with.
Yeah, outwit was the wrong word. I meant we're able to keep pace with anything they might be trying to nail people with. So in any case, the rich people can hire professionals like that. And obviously the middle class and some of the poorer Americans cannot do that. So grade A bullshit that was targeted. That was meant to target,
This is a activist young lady with a worthless degree working for a propaganda organization.
Oh, this is about to get much worse.
Clary. Oh, really? Okay.
Yes.
What does Toby want now? All right, continue on.
Okay. The layoffs are part of the Trump administration's goal to dramatically shrink the federal workforce, a move that has targeted health workers, immigration judges, aviation safety assistants, and thousands of other government employees.
Her bias is so... Chad,
yeah.
Go on. Yeah.
I'll finish this last sentence.
Right.
Yeah. The firings have imperiled services across the country, from disease prevention to forestry service. Ooh.
Hey, lady, shut up. We're so sick of it. You're right. This is a tiring old article.
Yes.
It's look, you know what happened to Twitter when Elon fired half the people?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Business as usual.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Lady, here, sweetheart, I know you're dumb and you're young and you're stupid and you're biased. And I do mean all those things. Could you just maybe come up with something different or admit that there might be some fat at the federal government?
You can't see it, but this is the world's smallest tiny
balloon.
Because I'm telling you, I wasted my 20s in there, although I did learn some stuff. As federal workers are the most unsympathetic bunch. I don't feel bad about this.
You've had it. It's surprising it lasted this long. Get a real job. Sorry, we're cutting. What about the private sector? Everyone who gets laid off in the private sector, where's the whining and complaining there? That perpetually happens.
Do you think people,
it's yeah.
well, I was just gonna say, like, do you think people's bosses will email them and be like, "Tell me 5 things that you've done lately this week in the private sector"? I would say that happens fairly frequently. So why are they crying about that?
Because this is an activist. And what's good is, yeah, this gal has less followers than you do on Twitter.
Yes.
Because no one believes the media anymore. I mean, this might be agitating, and people may get frustrated with this adult child's blatant bias, but this is a nobody. People surprise. Can you believe, Chad, that 20-something journo majors are a dime a dozen now?
Oh, you don't say. Really?
Yeah. Oh my God. They say all the exact same thing. What are the chances?
She graduated from American University with a master's in journalism in 2022. So she knows all about 2021 apparently.
So let me ask Toby something. Toby, do you need me and Chad to bail you out of your student loan debt?
Yeah.
Strong, independent girl boss. Oh shit. Is that what really? I want to know. Does she have other people's money that she has to pay back?
I got good news for you, Clary, because it's going to get even worse than it
Okay.
already has been.
All right.
So this next comment here, experts say the planned layoffs at the IRS could jeopardize tax collection and taxpayer services. Here's what you need to know. Yeah, sure.
She's going to tell us what we need. Oh, good.
She's going to tell us everything we need to know.
24-year-old adult child with student loan debt's going to tell us everything we need to know. Here we go.
With a journalism degree, too.
With a master's.
I'm sorry, master's.
Master's.
Yeah.
She's smarter than me, Chad.
God, even MBAs aren't that useless. All right. How many people work at the IRS? For years, the IRS has been starved of funding, leaving the agency understaffed and ill-equipped to assist taxpayers with filing returns, processing returns, and crack down on tax avoidance. In 2022, congressional Democrats narrowly passed the Inflation Reduction Act. That's what we were just talking about. Which allocated $80 billion to the IRS over 10 years, marking the biggest boost to the agency's budget in history. Congress has clawed back some of that funding since then. They actually did claw back about 20 billion of it. So
that's fine. Although you and I, we are sympathetic. That is true that the IRS is underfunded.
Yeah,
they do need some drastic investments.
Yeah,
if they are to enforce the IRS tax. So again, we are not even necessarily against the men and women of the IRS. We are against having a ridiculous tax code to enforce.
and I want to make it on record, calling that the Inflation Reduction Act had the exact opposite effect on inflation.
There was the most. That's like the Pretty Fat Woman Act. It just doesn't. It's contradictory.
Continuing on, the Biden-era budget increase was part of the administration's push to modernize the agency's technology and hire more IRS agents to increase tax enforcement and collections. Last year, the agency grew by about 10%, from about 90,000 employees to 100,000 employees, according to the Post. About 7% of the agency will be laid off. So because they're saying 7,000 are supposedly or have been let go. Yeah. So how will the layoffs affect tax returns and refund processing? And this is kind of the crux of everybody's like crying, am I going to get my refund? The IRS said publicly that personnel critical to tax filing season were ineligible for the deferred resignation plan that encouraged federal workers to quit, indicating that the layoffs may not affect employees who process tax returns or assist taxpayers with filing returns. So did you get that? Doge is saying, yeah, doesn't affect Doge. Like Doge is saying, nope, not happening because it's tax season. In a statement Thursday, former IRS Commissioner Chuck Rettig, timeout. I did a whole stream about what a jackass that guy was early on in my channel.
Right. He's not the commissioner now.
Not
somebody
anymore.
else. Why didn't they go talk to? Why didn't she go talk to the commissioner?
Yeah, Werfel. They should have talked to him. Former IRS Commissioner Charles Rettig said that, quote, there should not be a significant impact on current filing season operations because the firings were confined to probationary employees who worked in the small business self-employed division, not those who work in the wage and investment division, which handles taxpayer services. So, Clary, this is actually good news for most W-2, regular filers, because
Right.
it's business as usual with them. They use TurboTax, they file it, and they get their refund.
Yeah, you're the vast majority of you who are W-2, like if you're not self-employed, this will not have an effect on you.
Now, notice that she did mention that the small business self-employed division had a bunch of people laid off. I do need to be a little bit fair. I had to call the IRS on Monday. Yeah, it's really hard to get through now. Like it's always been hard, but they're definitely missing some people that could answer the
No,
phone.
I think it was just our last episode together. The IRS, first we need a new tax code, and then the IRS has to be restructured to be more efficient and given adequate funding for a proper computer system to enforce that tax code. There's nothing irrational here. But here's what gets me is you have the world's dumbest people like this joke of a journalist who cannot, they got to prop up an inefficient, costly system, right? I think you get the majority of Democrats saying, yeah, the IRS and the tax code is way too complicated. But you just got this mindless bot. You can't do it. Oh my God. It's like, lady, I would ask this person, not a journalist, this person, is there anything that should be reformed at the federal level? Is there is any cuts all bad cuts? Do you have the world's most perfect federal government? Or is there some fat that needs to be trimmed? Is there some inefficiencies? And apparently, according to her, no.
No, because this is team sports as far as she's concerned. It's like, oh, it's all about, continuing the narrative.
Mhm.
So continuing on, what if my refund is delayed? Ari Glowgoer, sounds like glowy, a law professor at Northwestern University, said in an interview that there are statutory protections for taxpayers who receive delayed refund payments. The IRS has 45 days from the tax return date to issue a refund, he said. If they don't, then the taxpayer may actually be entitled to interest on late refund payments, he says. Again, this is not going to be an issue for the vast majority of people. So stop emailing me. God.
Are you more upset because people are emailing you
Yes.
or because this article is, oh my God, what are we going to do without the monies?
I'll tell you what, I will answer that for you after I get past this one little section here that says, how will enforcement and collection be affected? Because when we get to the final section of this, So how will enforcement and collection be affected? Rettig, who served as IRS commissioner from 2018 to 2022, said the layoffs will have, quote, a significant impact on the agency's ability to expand the volume of audits. Well, gee, I'm really sad they're not going to be able to audit me. However, he noted that the IRS has modernized its enforcement and collection system, which has made it easier for the agency to identify, quote, potential non-compliance and conduct meaningful issue-focused examinations. Quote, the IRS can now identify issues of non-compliance that would not have been remotely possible just a few years ago, end quote. He said, I have to call bullshit again. They haven't modernized their technology enough to do this. And there's people that work at the IRS, including somebody you're familiar with, who have even told me as much.
Yeah,
that it has not improved.
You mean the former IRS commissioner who was fired by a Republican is saying things that may not be true? Color me shocked.
Color me shocked as well. All right, Clary, we're ready to finish the article.
Oh, is it going to be women and minorities most effective? Is that what it's going to be? Is that what this fucking shit's going to be? Oh, lady, fuck off.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Stop me. I want you to pay really close attention to this, and I want to know if you've heard this exact thing before.
Okay.
What I'm about to read, okay? And think really hard. Who could be affected? In January 2023, Stanford University's Institute for Economic Policy Research found that Black people who claimed the Earned Income Tax Credit, a tax break for low and moderate income workers, were audited at far higher rates than their non-Black counterparts. In a letter to the Senate Finance Committee at the time, IRS Commissioner Danny Werfel said the agency was, quote, deeply concerned by the university's findings and would work to address the disparities. Quote, they have done better. What they've done is make sure that only low-income taxpayers were not the ones being audited, end quote, said Dorothy Brown, listen, a professor at Georgetown Law School who studies the effects of tax policy by race, class, and gender.
Haven't we seen her
Yes,
before?
we
Yes.
have. I did
This
a
joke of a
whole
human
stream
being.
on this.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Do you remember this?
Yeah. So she went to the most biased joke of a human being. It's all here, Chad. I got a question.
Yes.
Could it be that maybe black people are at fault?
We can't say that, can we?
No. Hear me out. In the realm of possibility, is it possible that you come from a poor background? You weren't taught. Was anyone taught taxes in high school?
No.
Could it be that they made mistakes? It could
Yes.
even be not malicious.
Yes.
I mean, sit down, everyone. What if it happens to be the group of people, whatever it is that you're talking about, it's their mistake?
Right.
And are we going to help black people by saying, oh my goodness, it's the racisms and oh my God. Or it's like, hey, maybe we ought to have like a course offered to poorer communities on tax compliance. Let me ask you something, Chad.
Yes.
Do poor black people like going to H&R Block and filing taxes?
I mean, I don't think they like it, but they do it.
Well, no, but that's my point.
Yeah.
This constant whining and complaining is not helping anyone. And instead of saying, hey, we got a problem within whatever, the black community, women community, it doesn't matter. Where are we not helping them, failing them in education or whatever else? But you can't say, well, there's something wrong over there with that community or that group of people or how they were raised. And therefore now, Chad, do you think black people like getting letters from the IRS saying that you owe more?
Absolutely not.
No, they do not. I mean, it's treating them like fucking children. It pisses me off. And it's always the big boogeyman monster of discrimination and social sexism or whatever ism and phobe it happens to be.
They're also wrong. They're wrong.
They're wrong.
Yeah.
They're wrong.
So the earned income tax credit is always something they're going to look at closely because that's the government giving money to you, not you getting your refund back that you had withheld. That's the government giving you the government's money. So of course that's going to be higher.
So does the IRS focus more on their earned income tax credit?
Yes, they do. And it doesn't have anything to do with your race. It doesn't.
Okay. But could it be, what do you have to, do you have to be below a certain income level to qualify for that or have kids? Or am I confusing that with the kids?
No, you're correct. Yeah. You have to basically be below a certain income level, and it's more prevalent if you have kids. But if you don't have kids and you're really at a low level,
so two variables that naturally have are a variable more common within the black community: poorer and you have more kids, which is nothing wrong with that. But that's going to increase your audit rate,
right? And so this is kind of what we talked about. I'm going to link it in the chat for you guys. This was the Elkins Accounting Hour, episode number 43 that you and I did. This was over 2 years ago. And remember how I was like, I'm worried I'll get canceled if I talk about this. But
we need to talk about these. Chad, have people like Dorothy Brown or Toby Raji, have they actually helped black people at all?
No. They have not absolutely not.
Chad, if you were a doctor, right? And I come up to you, I say, I feel bad. And you run a screen on me. You say, oh my God, you got bladder cancer, let's say. And I yell at you and call you an istinophobe and that, no, it's a cold. Are you helping me in acquiescing to making my feelings feel better? When you say, yep, you're right. It isn't bladder cancer. You got a cold. Here's some ZyQuil. Is that going to help me?
Yeah.
Giving me a wrong diagnosis and giving me NyQuil?
I misheard you. Sorry. I get what you're saying. No, absolutely.
Is sparing my feelings going to help me or hurt me?
No. That's going to harm you. And that's what these professors, well, you have somebody from Stanford and then this other professor from
Stanford, Harvard. None of that shit means anything. Here's someone, look, the institutions are done. Washington Post, that doesn't mean anything. Journalist doesn't mean anything. Professor at whining and complaining doesn't mean anything. Stanford or Ivy League or not.
I'll finish the article real quick, and I have a few more points about this, exactly what we're talking about now. So this Georgetown Law School race baiter says, but Brown said this week's layoffs at the IRS could roll back the progress. And she goes, quote, You need people to audit higher income taxpayers, more sophisticated tax returns. So if those people are being fired, then we would expect to go back to the old ways where Black taxpayers are 3 to 5 times more likely to be audited or even worse, she said. So what this means is that enforcement system that's going to be tilted against taxpayers. Clary, where on a tax form does it have you put your race? Where?
It does not have you put your race.
Exactly. Now, don't you think that statistically, race is, I'm telling you, we went over this a little bit on that stream that you and I did, a couple of years ago. This has nothing to do with race and everything about common tax components involved with
income level and child tax credit and things like that. Right.
Now, we're just speaking statistically. Who do you believe makes more money on average? White people or Black people?
White people. Well, I don't believe that's true. White people make more money on average.
Right. So that is something that will lead a lot more Black people to claim the earned income tax credit. And like I just talked about, every time the government's handing you money instead of giving your refund back, it's always going to get scrutinized a little bit more, as it should.
For everyone to know, if I get a tax credit as opposed to a refund, so the government does pay more close attention to credits or just free money than they would a tax refund.
There's refundable and non-refundable credits, but you're correct. You're correct. Yes.
Okay. All right. So you happen to be a white gal or whatever, and you qualify for the earned income tax credit. You stand a higher chance of getting audited.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
So how is that
racism, Chad?
That's what I don't
not.
understand.
That's why I'm so happy to see these institutions, no one takes them seriously. Chad, should someone who works at a major publication like Toby have less followers than you?
You know what? No, because I don't really participate on X that much. So.
Right. But she doesn't. You know why? Because I think everyone's sick and tired of the lies.
Yeah.
They don't report the news. It's all propaganda. This is a fucking joke of an article. It's always, could you be more stereotypical than to be a Black woman then complain, it's all about race? Why didn't she just throw sexism in there to complete the entire stereotype? Why not?
I guess she found that study and just decided it's almost lazy
bullshit
journalism.
Study.
Yeah.
It's fucking bullshit. Chad, is this going to help out one Black person today?
No, no.
Our conversation will, but not that article. It's just.
I feel like you just, I don't know. Stop trying to treat everybody like children is what I'm thinking. So stop doing that.
Well, how will the Democrats get elected then?
They won't, as we've just seen. So Clary, that's the end of the article. And before I get your thoughts, I have one question for you, and then we'll cap this off. Look,
I just looked up Toby. She's got 691 followers.
Yeah, that's less than
no one's reading this shit.
But here, look, what was the entire purpose of me doing this stream and reading this article? What was the question we were trying to answer?
Will I get my refund soon?
As a result of,
as a result of layoffs, right? And now here we are talking about race.
How the fuck did she end up dropping that study and this thing in there?
Because journalism schools are training journalists to make everything about a victim group and an oppressor. It's a classic Marxist doctrine. Everyone is either oppressed or the oppressor, and everything has to be couched in there. You notice how video games are all political now?
Yeah.
Everything must be political. That is how they are trained. And that's why no one's tuning in. They're not reporting facts or news, no matter how boring it might be. And people let me ask you something, Chad. Do you think Black men got sick and tired of being poor this election?
I'm sure that they did.
They did. And they didn't. Maybe they didn't all vote Republican, but a lot fewer of them voted Democrat. I think people are finally starting to realize, Chad, should you take dating advice or marriage advice from baby boomers?
Absolutely not.
Inevitably, if you keep following older people's or just other people's advice, whether it's journalists or boomers, and the advice doesn't help you, or in some cases it hurts you, you tend to stop listening to these people, right?
Right.
And so I think enough people have reached fuck it, and they're done, no matter how good it feels, oh, nothing's my fault and a reason. People aren't listening to Toby over here or boomers about dating and marriage advice. And I'm not saying they're going to go run away and start consuming Socrates or read Dave Ramsey right now yet, but they are done listening to this shit because it has not helped them in the past, 25, 30 years.
So that Raymond guy you introduced me to has a bunch of videos, and one of them made that exact point. He's pretty insightful.
Yeah, no, I like Raymond.
Yeah.
I said he's like, as if me and Great One, like we hybrided our genetics, Raymond would be Raymond thoughts and minds would be kind of a
Yes.
genetic combination of me and Great One.
I binged on his videos yesterday while I was working. It's got some good stuff. Raymond's Thoughts and Minds is the name of the channel. No, that's pretty much what I wanted to discuss. I was like, look, if I wanted to know if my refunds will be delayed, the question really wasn't answered in the article at all. Like,
what? Let me ask you this. Why did you even give her this traffic?
I guess because I just wanted to prove a point. One, that like the only reason I would ever read a Washington Post article is to make fun of it. Two, I thought you would get a kick out of it. Three, I thought people would want to go back and go to our stream from 2 years ago that talked about this.
But I'm wondering why not that you don't have to. I mean, we should always check in on the journals to see what ridiculous, completely biased propagandist horseshit they're writing. But after a while, it just gets tiring.
Yeah.
Another video game came out that was leftist and had ugly women. I don't care. A feminist said that they're oppressed. I don't care. After a while, like apathy should set in.
Right.
Like, you can't even get angry. It's like, yeah, you're a typical little 20-something girl who went to a stupid college. You got a master's in journalism. You don't know anything. You have student loan debt. You're a parasite because you're begging people to bail you out. I could be wrong on that one, but I'm going to bet. All right. Why do I care what an idiotic moron?
I think what really got me. So I think you see and deal with this stuff way more than I do. But I think the reason I was just so flummoxed or whatever, I just wanted to know if my refund would be delayed. And here I am getting a lecture about like, I'm not used to that. Like, I'm not used to that.
The good news is these people aren't making money anymore. It's Chad, if you ate chocolate donuts every day for a year, at the end of the year, would you be sick of chocolate donuts?
Yeah, and I'd have diabetes.
And you'd have diabetes. I think people have had their fill of whiny Kuantahahi leftist complaining.
Yeah.
I think that's it. I think they're so sick and tired of, I'm a woman or I'm black or I'm Hispanic or whatever. Even people who happen to be whatever, black, Hispanic, female, they're sick of that shit. And it doesn't play in it. This is why she's got what? 619
less
followers?
than me.
Yeah. And go ahead, keep complaining some more. This is why I always ask, is it more of other people's money? Is that the solution to it? Because if it is,
never.
We don't need to hear your 1,282,324th variation of why you're entitled to other people's money. It's the same shit.
Okay, since that so-called journalist refused the answer to the question, I'm going to answer it for you. Okay.
You're going to do her job.
I'm going to do her job.
Oh, amazing. Okay.
Here's what's going to happen. It doesn't matter how many people were laid off or not. Your refunds are not going to be delayed because they are computer processed, okay? And unless you get flagged due to some kind of discrepancy with what's on a 1099 or W-2, something, unless you get flagged, it's honestly just business as usual. And guess what? Yeah, go ahead.
Shouldn't she have, as a journalist, looked up how the tax refunds were processed?
Yeah, that's why I wanted. That's why I was so glad you could come on today, because I was like, I know you deal with this.
Toby, you're an idiot. Just quit, Toby. Go find some guy, lose some weight. Although I don't think she looks pretty good, lady. Just go be pretty and get married and go make some babies and knock it off. You're not a journalist. You're a hack. Oh my God.
The question was not ever answered, and I'm continuing to get emails about this, and it's really aggravating. And hey, maybe most of my clients are of that, persuasion. They're probably reading the same crap and not getting answers either. That's my own.
Yeah. No, they did. But thanks, Toby. You wasted how many thousands of people's hours?
Right.
Or maybe a couple hundred people. I don't know how many people read the article.
Yeah, probably not a lot, because who reads the Washington Post anymore?
At the end, what I'd be curious about, after you read leftist propaganda, and that's what that is.
Yeah.
If your only option is to get pissed, it's probably propaganda, right?
Yeah.
You could say that of any political, but I would like to say something useful. Like you point out, it's computer processed. You don't have to worry about it,
Yes.
especially if you're W-2. There's no, like, you should have either your question is answered or you have a course of action that you should take. But all I could tell from leftist propaganda is no, sit there and be angry some more.
Right.
Right.
That's not going to help anybody.
No, it's not going to
So,
help anyone. Yeah.
I want to read this comment real quick. This is from the other Marcus Brown. His refund was delayed for earned income
So
tax
there it
credit,
is. Okay.
but it was just deposited this morning. So, like I said, they tend to delay it slightly just to make sure that the earned income credit is legit, which it was for the other Marcus Brown. And there you have it. So, yeah.
I'm pissed though, Chad.
Why?
Because Marcus Brown, he's a black man and he got his refund. I thought we had a meeting with the order of the white dudes, and we said today we fuck over the other Marcus Brown. And they say, wait, not the original Marcus Brown? No, not that guy.
No, the other
They
one.
alternate. This is an even number tax year, right? 2024.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. So that's even numbers we target the other Marcus Brown, and then odd numbers we target Marcus Brown Prime.
Yeah, the original one.
Right. That's what we concluded at the meeting of the evil white dudes. I'm pissed. He wasn't supposed to get his refund. The hell's going on?
Also, the other Marcus Brown here does have a channel, and I've subscribed to it, and he has some interesting takes. So please go over there. He's looking for more subscribers. So, Clary, that was really all I had. We have just a few other super chats, but I mean, do you have any final thoughts about this? It's really just business as usual, isn't it?
It's your tax refunds are coming in. If you'd like this to end, and everybody, whether you're black or white, rich or poor, male or female, doesn't matter. If we had a much easier tax code to enforce, which would be a sales tax or something streamlined, you wouldn't have to file these taxes and go through this hell. And I would ask those who might disagree with us on the other side of the political aisle, or perhaps you happen to be black or Hispanic or female and you believe the Democrat horseshit all this while. Okay, you could keep believing in it if you want. That's not my point. But could you theorize a world where the system is so inefficient and overly complex? What's the tax code? 30,000 pages now?
Jesus, it's approaching 4,000. And then Trump, there's some new changes that got announced just today or yesterday. So
could you theorize a world where the tax code would be simpler and better for everyone?
Yes.
And is it possible, even though you disagree with Trump or Republicans, let's just say in general, that maybe he might offer some things that make it easier for everyone, and that there is some apolitical things and trait-based, racial, asexual, there are things that benefit everyone.
Yes.
And why can't we focus on that? And I think that would be my only concluding thought, because beforehand it was just merely a factual thing. But you had Toby Maguire, whatever the hell this gal's name is, come in and throw the race card. And dude, that just made you angry unnecessarily. This woman made your day less.
It had no place in there. It had no place.
Had no place.
I just want to read this real quick from Pariah 501. Chad, have you ever heard of Sasha Bass? So, Clary, just so you know, the Bass family basically owns downtown Fort Worth, like all of the buildings, that they're the nobility of Fort Worth. So one of the brothers, I can't remember if it's David or whatever, he's like 80. He married Sasha, who's like 35.
There we go. That our point.
This was bad for everybody because he just wanted to keep Sasha off of his ass. So he made Sasha kind of in charge of like the rents, what they charge downtown. And she is brutal. She's like destroying every business, everything.
Dude, it's a different topic, but the 3M, I believe, one of the heirs or the wives of one of the former owner, wealthy bigwig to do, she donated money to a bunch of Marxist causes. For the love of God, guys, stop giving your money and your estate to your trophy wives. Okay? Stop doing that.
Pariah 501, please email me because my email is in the description.
Hang
doesn't mean I'll
on.
publicize them. I just want to know what you have to say.
That's where we run into Charles and Sasha Bash is suing the Elkins accounting.
I would never publicize it.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. All right, let's get to the super chats.
Super chats. Alexander, California, $5 passed part 1 of the EA exam, 1 and 3 down. Cool. He's just got 2 left.
Congratulations. No, he just has 1 left.
No, I mean exam number 2.
Oh, yeah.
He says 1
right.
and 3 are down. Yeah, he's got exam number 2 left.
I need to learn more about which is the hardest one. I keep hearing different things, but congrats, man. That's good.
Hazmat trucker, $2. My refund came 2 times as fast as ever since 18. See, everyone's sitting down. You want another theory, Chad?
Yes.
So Elon fired half the people at Twitter, and Twitter still works just fine.
Yes, it does.
Is it possible that Elon could, or Trump, whoever, could fire a lot of these IRS people and through more efficient structure and organization provide better service with less people in the IRS? Is that possible?
I wouldn't even call it possible. I would call it probable.
Probable. Yep.
Yes. So again, your refunds are not going to be delayed.
But black people, Chad. But black people. This guy, Cynic and Chief, $2. Happy 61st birthday to Clary. ARP also says hi. Did I tell you my old man got me a membership to ARP?
He did?
Joke, yeah.
Oh, that's so funny. That's cool.
Now I gotta go cancel it.
So I got like 6 years left. Like, you don't feel differently after turning 50.
No, I feel great. I'm in like great.
Yeah.
Fine. Siege D, $5. Howdy. I got the world's greatest accounting course. I'm working towards getting my CPA, but is there benefits to having a CPA outside of accounting?
There's a lot of financial planners that are CPAs that lend them a little bit more credibility.
Valuation?
Valuation, yeah, because that shows that you really know your way
Appraisals.
around a financial statement. Yeah. There's even real estate agents that have CPAs. I don't know if that helps, but
maybe valuing a property, but I would also say CPAs tend to end up in CFO roles, and CFOs tend to end up a lot of times in the CEO position, but that's if he wants to go corporate. But I don't know. I think there's a little bit of prestige that comes with it too.
Well, also, you know how a lot that people end up on boards, and that's where you can make a lot of money. Apparently, there's a higher proportion of accountants and lawyers that end up on major corporate boards as opposed to other types. So,
and another reason to get the CPA.
Why is that?
Once you get the CPA, then you get the GIRLSA.
Would you read the great ones coming?
Right there. Being a CPA is how you get the GIRLSA. Yep.
I won't say it got me the girls, but hey, it couldn't hurt. You know what, man? That is all I had. I got to get back to work. Is there anything that you feel we need to advertise? Well,
if you would like to join the wonderful world of accounting, which has a high propensity to be self and or remotely employed. Chad, do you want to be remote and self-employed?
Yes, it's the deadly combo.
Oh my God, you are remote and self-employed.
Yes, I am.
Chad, where can you work tomorrow?
I'm going to work in this room, although I could go outside, I could go upstairs, I could go to the beach, I could go to the lake.
You could say anywhere you want.
Yeah.
One would say, okay. Do you have meetings with your boss tomorrow?
Well, I don't have a boss, but
you don't have a boss?
No.
Tell me more.
So this is the perfect career if you want to work remotely. And yes, it gets really crazy around this time of year, but you don't have to answer to anybody. You can do it wherever you want. And I wouldn't have it any other way.
Can you wake up when you want?
Yes, although I've been waking up too late lately, so I need to change that.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, this is fascinating. So if I wanted to become an accountant that has a high propensity of being self and remotely employed, is there a guide on the internet anywhere or a course that would teach me how to do this the most affordable and efficient and quick way possible?
So I do know of one. Do you want to tell people what it is, or do you want me?
I don't know what it's called, but if I were to have a course like this, I would call it the world's greatest accounting career. And do you know what platform I'd offer it on? Not that I have.
I think it's called Teachable.
I would offer it on Teachable. And by God, Chad, if I came up with a course on Teachable called the world's greatest accounting career, you're a friend, right? You and I are friends.
Yeah.
As a gesture of our friendship and you being in the field, I would offer you an affiliate link. Ooh. So you would make a commission because you must know some people who are interested in becoming accountants, right? You run an accounting podcast. So in this theoretical world where we'd have a course called the world's greatest accounting career, it'd be offered on Teachable, I would offer you, a good friend, an affiliate link where you would get a 25% commission of my money. That's how good of a friend you are. I would give you an affiliate link that you could put below in the description of any podcast or videos you did on your channel.
And I have gone ahead and done that. Even if it's not through my affiliate link, it really is a good course. Like the feedback I've gotten from it's been universally positive.
Yeah, it actually has. So that's the one thing. Teachable does not like do ratings, so it's only through word of mouth. Like no one's coming back. You guys suck. I didn't get no girls.
Now, speaking of getting the girls and having a job that will never go away.
Oh, Alex Patino, a truck driving Latino agent in the field. Happy belated birthday, Cappy. Are you getting funeral insurance brochures by mail? You know, this. See, I told you about our audience, right?
Yeah.
I told you to all be poop and fart jokes. I said, no, I don't have funeral insurance. I have what is my retirement plan or my funeral plan, Chad?
I'm hoping it's not the Smith & Wesson retirement plan.
It is the Smith & Wesson.
Really?
Why are you guys going to spend thousands of dollars on things?
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I'll 50-cent bullet, boom, we're done. And then, I don't know, burn the body or something. I don't know.
Thanks, Alex. That's generous. We got one more from somebody else you know.
My truth, the king. You mean to tell me that Clary is sharing the commish? Oh, yeah. It's 75% the commish. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I really appreciate the super chats, guys. Clary, thank you for coming on. I got to get back to work, but if there's just one more thing I need you to tell me, and that's when should we hang out?
Soon.
Soon.